I am here today with a gnome citizen whose identity has been concealed for his protection. Tell me, sir, do you find that as a member of the gnomish race, you deal with persecution on a day-to-day basis?
Absolutely. I mean, people don't realize, but every day, just being a little person out there, you deal with all kinds of stuff that no one else has to deal with.
What kinds of issues do you find yourself running up against every day?
Well, a lot of it is little stuff that most people would overlook, like just walking down the sidewalk and having people shove you over. But a lot of it's big things too, like being stepped on or being sat on, having to do all the dirty jobs, all the dirty work that nobody else wants to do and getting paid half as much for it. It's really not fair, and we've come to the point in history where something really needs to be done about it.
You were involved in an incident that happened in a local drinking establishment. Tell me what happened that night.
Well, there had been a blogger ball game, and I went to the game with my friends, and then afterwards we went to the pub for a drink.
Sounds like a typical night.
Yes, very much so. It was all just supposed to be fun.
But it wasn't.
No. Before I knew it, I don't know, 1 minute I remember I was sitting at the table just drinking and laughing with my friends, and then the next thing I know, I'm flying through the air and I don't even know which way I'm going, and I'm all dizzy and crazy and I don't even know what's happening.
So that night, the other patrons of the bar, against your will, used you as a blogger ball. Is that right?
Yes.
And against your will, you were thrown about the establishment repeatedly.
For at least an hour or two.
And at any point, did you ask the other patrons of the bar to stop throwing you?
I mean, I'm sure of course I did, right?
Did you?
Well, I really couldn't say, but the point is, I shouldn't have to. I mean, no one should have to ask to not be a blogger ball.
Some people have implied that you wanted to be part of this merriment, that you actually enjoyed being a blogger ball.
That's not true. That's ridiculous.
So you're saying that you wanted no part.
That is what I'm saying.
Several eyewitnesses have said that you, in fact, were laughing the whole time.
What? I mean, well, the truth is, I was drunk, and I'm ashamed to say I was quite drunk, and I can't be held responsible for what I might have done, but that's no reason for everyone else to have taken advantage of me just because I'm a gnome. If they did it to you, it wouldn't be right, would it? It wouldn't.
So you're saying that you were too inebriated to be able to consent to being a blogger ball.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
What do you think the other patrons of the bar would have done if you weren't a gnome, if you had been, say, a troll instead?
Well, they certainly would not have used me as a blogger ball. No one uses a troll as a blogger ball. No one uses an ogre as a blogger ball. It just doesn't happen. It's completely unheard of. You know, it only happens to us gnomes. We get all the crap. We get all the blogger ballness.
Have there been similar incidents that you know of?
Yes. The exact same thing happened to my cousin Joe, just at the very last blogger ball game, right before it happened to me. I mean, he was ashamed. He's been depressed for weeks. He didn't want to talk about it. I mean, he couldn't even talk about it. I was the only person he even told about it. And I'm sure it happens to lots of gnomes, and everybody's afraid to talk about it because we just know it's just going to make everything worse. And all the time, things like this happen all the time, and people don't realize. The other day, my mother was at the grocery store, and she was shopping for spuds, and she was trying to reach the spuds, and a man came up behind her, and he just picked her up and moved her right out of the way. I mean, that kind of thing, we have to realize, is really just one step away from treating a gnome like a blogger ball. And it's not fair, it's not right, and it's not just. Our society needs to change.
Tell me about change. What do you think is the first step?
The first step is awareness. We need to tell people, we need to get our message out there. Gnomes are people too, sort of. And, you know, we should be treated as people. We shouldn't be treated differently than giants. We shouldn't be treated differently than fairies. We shouldn't be treated differently than humans.
Wouldn't you say that the different races all have different attributes that make them unique?
Yes, that may be true, but that doesn't mean that we should treat them differently.
And by same kind of treatment, what exactly do you picture?
I picture a world where gnomes are treated equally, where the other races keep their hands off of us and don't manhandle us all the time. I picture a world where we have equal opportunity for good jobs, where we're treated with respect and people acknowledge our other good traits, our intelligence and our intense energy, and to see those as good things to be used in the more advanced fields of work, not just give us all the horrible jobs that nobody else wants to do. I mean, I am so tired of standing around in people's yards looking at their leaves. I mean, I know so many gnomes who are. It's just, it's ridiculous.
And where exactly does this kind of change begin?
Education would be a good place to start. I mean, but beyond just the school system, I'm talking about mothers. Mothers need to teach their children. Gnomes are not toys. We can't be picked up and tossed around at a daycare. I mean, just personal space, right?
Personal space. There you have it, right from the mouth of the gnome. Gnomes are people too, and they demand equal rights. They demand equal treatment and respect. This is a call to all the people of Renshar to treat gnomes as such. You can learn more about the campaign by visiting the Equal Rights for Gnomes website or by visiting a campaign headquarters near you. Sir, I want to thank you for your honesty and your candor today in joining us.
Thank you. I only hope that it really helps people become aware that this is an issue and that they take what they've learned today and enact change in the way that they treat gnomes.
Thank you for joining us. Up next, a special exclusive interview with reality TV sensation Glamo Vensis of Eat or Be Eaten fame. Stay tuned.